Welcome back. We've taken a bit of a break, but we are finally back and so excited to be here. If you aren't already following Naked, please take a minute to do so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Each follow means so much and it actually helps a lot. If you have more than just a minute, it would be absolutely incredible if you could leave a review and maybe even share an episode with a friend. I am relatively new to the pod world, especially new to the things that are important in the podcasting world. And apparently reviews and follows are up there on the list of importance. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Welcome to Naked, where stories unfold. I'm your host, Janelle, a once former pastor's wife who exchanged small town living for a nomadic life. The unexpected change in our life led my husband and our 4 kids to traveling the world. From years of being rooted in our small town to the thrill of wandering the world, our story has been anything but ordinary. On our journeys, we've met amazing people, learnt their way of life, and heard their unique stories, which has led me to understand the profound impact of shared experiences. In each episode, we explore moments of transformation, guided by one single question: is there a time in your life when everything changed? We invite ordinary storytellers like yourself to share the often unexpected turns in life. So grab a seat and settle in. This is the Naked Podcast. So I wanted to start off season 2 with someone really special in my life. And I feel like there's no one better than my 93-year-old grandma, who actually inspired me to start Naked. As a child, I saw my grandma mostly during holidays because we lived 14 hours away and it was such a trek to get there. When we were there though, she was always bustily working in the kitchen. A bit of a country girl who had a garden, made her own butter, canned her own fruits and veggies, and also was super, super crafty. Actually, one of my favorite gifts she ever gave me was a hand-drawn coloring book. I got it at 7 and I still have it today. She might also be one of the most resourceful people I know. She has turned fluffy blankets into little tiny sets of sheep characters, and also used grape stems to make cherry blossom trees, all of which are displayed in her house. My absolute favorite, though, is the day she decided to hot glue one of her crafts to the wall because my grandpa told her not to put any more holes in the wall. She definitely found her way around this. She is the most resourceful person, and that thing was not coming off the wall. She's also one of the most hilarious people I know, and always up for a laugh. My most vivid childhood memory of her in all her silliness was the day she got dressed up in her fancy clothes. She put on some cute high heels and pink lipstick to play baseball. As she picked up the baseball bat, she just started to laugh, and that's when we knew the joke. Grandma took out her false teeth, dressed to the nines, no teeth. We all buckled over in complete hysteria. She has taught me to never take myself too seriously, always leave room for silliness, even on my best dressed days. She has a saying, there's always something to smile about, so why not smile? I am beyond grateful to have her on Naked today, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Let's see what lipstick you have. You put it on?
I did already.
And a little more. Oh, she uses her fingers. I've never worn your lipstick before. This is the first time.
Yeah?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I just got that from Yvonne.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah. And then they buy me this perfume. You know?
Let's see.
It smells good.
Okay. Well,
No, it's actually for in the room.
oh, and also for the body.
Yeah.
For the body and for...
It smells good, right?
It's very nice. Yeah, I love it. Love it. Well, here we go.
Okay.
Showtime.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm here with my grandma, who last year I came here and hung out with her, and we talked about stories, lots of stories. She shared so many stories, and I said, Grandma, people need to hear these stories because in your story you give people courage and hope and inspire them for their own journeys. So I thought it was only fitting that you and I could talk today, and I could ask you the same question of asking other people, is what's the one thing in your life that happened when everything changed?
Yeah, I think it was a time when Ed has his accident. Then everything changed.
My dad had an accident. Yeah. How old was he, do you remember?
I think he wasn't around 7.
7? And did you have other kids as well? How many kids did you have at the time?
I think 3.
3 kids? And how, do you remember the ages? You had 7, my dad, and then you had...
And there was Yvonne and Tim. They were little
Little kids, like 5 and 3 maybe?
something like that.
Like that?
Mm-hmm.
And Ed was at school. He was the only one who went to school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he had an accident
Mm-hmm.
one day. And what changed on that day?
Well, it was Grandpa was working in the sugar beet factory in Winnipeg at that time,
Okay.
and then so he was sleeping at home in the daytime,
Okay.
and at night he would go to Winnipeg to work there.
Okay.
So now he was sleeping when this all happened.
Okay.
So then I had to wake him up, and then we phoned the neighbor. I mean, a teacher. Yeah, she was our neighbor.
Yeah.
And her husband, and her husband had the flu. He was sick, but he took us to Winnipeg.
Okay.
First to St. Pierre, and that's where they x-rayed his head.
Okay.
See what had happened.
Yeah.
And then from there, we had to go Winnipeg with him to Children's Hospital.
Okay. So when it happened, Grandma, you were at the house, Grandpa's sleeping, and 2 of the kids are there with you. And you have I remember you telling me something about you just kind of knew that something was wrong. You could kind of...
I was
how did it go?
outside.
Yeah.
I was feeding the cattle
Okay.
by the field there, and I could look where, like Ed was coming home from school. Usually he came over the field.
Okay.
It was just a little ways to walk. But no, he wasn't coming, and I saw this truck going very fast. And he had asked me if he could go along with, the other kids went along with the truck. And I said, you better not, you shouldn't do that, because that boy doesn't have license. And I didn't want him to do that, but he did.
Right.
So then he fell off. Right at the corner, I could see it, exactly how it happened. But I didn't know who it was, but I saw his cap. What he always wore. Then I knew it was him.
Okay.
So I got in our truck, and I went there to the corner, and we picked him up. And the one eye was looking away, and the blood coming out of his nose, and he looked very weird.
Yeah. No.
He fell on the frozen ground where the caterpillar had been going. It was hard bumps, and he
hit his head on there. Was he able to talk to you or knew who you were, or was he kind of like in shock and he wasn't?
Probably in shock.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if he knew what happened or anything.
Right.
But I took him into the truck and I brought him home, and I carried him in, and he would bring up all blood on the floor, and it was a very scary time.
Like he was throwing up blood?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
You know, it was bleeding, and
his head's bleeding, his nose is bleeding, and he's throwing up blood
inside.
Oh wow.
And bleeding inside. Then I told Grandpa to come back, get up, and then he said phone his teacher. So I phoned there, and then her husband took us in, but he did not feel very good. He had the flu.
Oh no.
So we went to Isaac Dick's. They lived then in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
And Uncle Ike took us to the hospital.
Okay.
The children's, yeah.
And they took you to the hospital in Winnipeg.
Mm-hmm.
And then what did they say there? How was my dad responding at that point? Was he still in and out, or how was?
No, he was like sleeping. He was not.
He was not responding at all.
Not at all.
Okay.
So they were outside waiting for him already.
Oh, they knew you were coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and they had called the RCMP that they should let us go, like our license number.
To drive fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Emergency. And so then, yeah, they stood there outside already with a bed. You put him on there, and they carried him into the operation room, and I went along, and Dad went sat in the room, in the waiting room. So I went along with Ed into there, and I took one of those scissors that were hanging on the wall, and I cut open all his clothes,
Wow.
took them off, and the nurse said to the other nurse, look at her, look at her, she works.
You just did it all by your own. They didn't say you could do it, you just went and did it.
Quick, no.
You just quickly cut his clothes off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I took them off, and of course he was all wet, you know.
Yeah.
So then they said I should go sit
In the waiting room?
Yeah.
Because you were doing their job.
Trying to. So then I did. I went there with Dad, and then we waited there for 3 hours.
Wow. And they did surgery right away?
Yeah. Oh, that was emergency. Oh, yeah. They called the room number all evening, and those 3 hours were just calling doctors to that one operation room.
You just saw people going in and out,
Yeah,
in and out.
yeah. Yes, I didn't know how to do it, and at first, so how they would do it, I guess. So then 3 hours were over. Then one of the doctors came with a note, and he showed us, and he was showing us what they had done to his head.
Okay.
What they were doing there. So.
And what's your mom heart saying? So you're sitting there with Grandpa, and your little boy is in surgery, and how is your mom heart feeling? You know, like I think about other moms that maybe have sat in the same spot as you, or maybe are sitting in that spot, and sometimes we feel really alone. We feel like we're the only one that's feeling that way. And your son you're not sure if my dad's gonna make it or not. You're at that space where they're not.
You weren't sure of, or would he be, you know, not
able to
to
function?
think anymore. We didn't know.
Right.
But you know, you pray and you believe.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah, and you sat there and you just, did you have peace in that moment, or did you feel?
Yeah, I had peace, but it was hard.
Yeah, and you have 2 little ones too, still.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And so we phoned to our church that they should pray.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then we just waited.
And when did you get to see my dad at that? So he did the 3-hour surgery, you're waiting there, and then at what point do you get to see him, and do they tell you?
I think in the morning.
In the morning?
Like this was in the evening.
Okay.
It happened. 4 o'clock.
And did the doctor come say, this is how the surgery went? This is what we're expecting? What did they say when they first came out?
Well, he said that there was a blood clot. Like your brain is in a bag.
Okay.
Kind of.
Okay.
And there was a big blood clot, and it was pushing the brain.
Okay.
And they took it out. And he said he had 80% chance to live.
Wow.
So it was good and not good.
Yeah.
But then in the morning, I think we went to see him. They had wrapped up his whole head in a white cloth.
Okay.
And then I think at dinner time, it was when we came to the bed, and I asked him if he knew who we were. And he said, Peter Nettie.
Peter Nettie, it's your first name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then he was awake.
Yeah, the next day.
Yeah, the next day, like this happened in the evening, and then in the morning he didn't respond yet.
Oh, okay.
But I think at dinner time, then he said we were quite unhappy.
Wow.
So it started to clear up more.
And what did the doctors say? Like after he had the surgery, did they say they could kind of say that he was going to be be able to function normally as he was before? Did they kind of give you any?
They said just 80% that he would live.
Okay, nothing about his
not
functions
yet, no.
Okay.
And this was in the beginning of November.
Okay.
And after Christmas, we took him to the doctor in Winnipeg, a checkup, and then he sang for him.
Wow.
A Christmas song. I don't remember which one. Maybe Silent Night. I don't remember.
And how long was my dad in the hospital? Like, how long was his recovery? Because It was pretty
Well, there
serious,
was
you said.
two or 3 weeks,
Okay.
and then he came home, but they had taken off his cap,
And bandages?
and they had just sewn that they had cut it open on the side here,
Yeah.
like a horseshoe
Okay.
design,
Right.
and they opened it up, and they gave an operation, and they just tacked it on back on the skin.
Like put like a metal plate in
No,
there?
not yet.
Not yet. Oh, okay.
They put the skin on, and then he could come home
Oh, okay.
after that. But we had to be careful that he wouldn't fall,
Oh,
because if, like, we had a chimney in the middle of kind of in the house,
Okay.
and the kids were always playing around that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the doctor said if he would fall, he would be right away dead
Oh,
if he would hit it here,
wow.
because there was no protection now.
Because it was all exposed.
Yes, so and they had to, once it was healed up, then they would open it up, and then they would put in a plate.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
okay.
So that's what they did.
Wow.
And then they said, no, we could use a hammer on this head.
Because it's so strong.
It was so strong.
Wow. And so did you have to, like, so you have this boy who had some injury with his brain, and, you know, what was the journey for teaching him the normal things, like walking and talking and feeding himself? Was that all new again to him? Like, you were...
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, what was that like? What things did you have to teach him?
Well, to walk,
You had to teach him how to walk.
I had to watch him when he was walking, that he wouldn't fall.
So was it, for my dad, was it, he had to learn how to move his leg again, was that all new for him again?
I think so, because it looked like he was paralyzed on one side.
Okay.
So then they showed me in the hospital how to exercise his foot and his legs. So I always did,
Yeah.
but it didn't seem to help very much.
Oh, okay.
So he was growing, but this was kind of lagging behind.
Oh, okay.
Lagging behind.
Yeah.
The leg was lagging behind. Yeah.
So he wasn't, you were trying, did he have a lot of support? Like, was he doing physiotherapy or were you that person? You had to do all
I had
of
to
that.
exercise every day and morning, and I don't know how often I had to do it in daytime.
And milk the cows, and take care of the kids,
Yep.
and all those things, and
Yep.
make sure he didn't fall.
Yep.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and you know, I'm strong.
Yeah, you are.
I could still do it.
You are strong. So you did all of that with him and helped him, and how long until he was able to run? And I don't know if he was running, but till he was kind of on his own again. How long was that journey?
I wish I knew.
A while, probably.
I should have written down, but you know, it was
Crazy time.
such a busy time. I don't know. You don't want to write down those things, you know.
Yeah. It's hard, right?
Yeah.
There's so much going on.
I should have, but I haven't done. So.
Yeah. Yeah. That was quite a journey though, hey? And then the
Oh, that
continual
was.
journey through his life.
Yeah, you know, then he got better, but then was Melvin. And Melvin fell at school, and he broke his hip.
Oh my goodness.
So then was Barry, that was all in one.
Wow.
Barry had a big bump here.
Oh, no.
He was a little boy, he was just running, started to run. And he had a big cyst.
Oh dear.
So they had to operate on that. So Dad was working right, and I was going along to the hospital and try to learn how teach Ed to walk
Right.
again.
Yeah.
So at first it was, I think he didn't notice what he did, but that was funny.
What did he do?
Well, he would say hi to the nurse, and when they walk around the corner, there she was again, he would say hi again to her.
Because he didn't quite remember. His mind was still healing.
It was healing,
Yeah.
So, and then my brother Henry came from Calgary.
Yeah.
And he took him on his lap, and he had brought him a book, a storybook.
Okay.
It was actually very nice, and a chocolate bar, and I don't know if Ad remembers that, but I remember it. And then he sang for Uncle Henry.
Wow.
He sang a song that he had learned in Sunday school, which was it a Bible verse? Maybe it was both.
Okay.
I don't know. Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say rejoice.
Yes, I've heard him telling that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he sang a Christmas song for him.
Wow. Because this happened just before Christmas.
This happened in November.
Yeah.
The 9th, I think.
Okay.
So anyways, I still remember that all.
It's been a long time, like
Yeah.
60-some years or so, hey?
Well, I have a
60
very
years.
good remembering outfit somewhere there.
You remember. And did you ever feel like lost in your journey, in the sense of like, here you are trying to be a mom, you're trying to raise little kids and then help my dad almost learn how to function like again, and then doing other things? Is there times you just felt like a bit alone? No, you had people surrounding you?
No.
No.
I just felt like living more.
You just were strong and you just did it.
Yeah, I could take it all.
You could take it all.
Yep.
Grandma, you're some sort of hero. You have strength in you. You're a very strong woman.
Yeah.
You are. You somehow, it's been just a part of who you are, your existence. Yeah. And still smiling and laughing through all of it.
Oh yeah. Without laughing, your life would be very bored.
Yeah. You are somebody who definitely oozes joy.
Yeah.
You're just part of who you are.
I know.
You're just joyful.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You know, when I go to work here,
Yeah.
or go there where they go to eat, I would
Yeah.
say, and then and these people, they all, you know, I can feel how they respect me
Yeah.
when I come in, because I always smile. I love people.
Yeah.
So when I come in, I have a laugh, you know, and a smile. And then they say, oh, here she comes. All smiles again. And this one lady said, are you always happy? I sure try to be.
Yes. Wow.
So, oh yeah, they're very bold. They ask me
They
big
ask you.
questions.
They do, hey?
Uh-huh.
I remember.
And I said, you know what, it's in here and it has to come out somehow. And it comes out here.
The joy exists
Yeah.
deep within your soul.
Joy of the Lord is
Yeah.
my strength. Yeah.
Strength. Yeah. That's beautiful. You are such an inspiration, not only to me, but to all the grandkids and all your kids. And
I want to.
you are. You are.
Yeah, that's good. It's because I want to.
You're choosing that. You're
Yeah.
choosing to
Yeah.
be joyful.
Mm-hmm.
You're choosing to find the beauty in life,
Mhm.
hey? You seem to be somebody who always looks for goodness. Even in the hard times, it seems as though you look for the goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always something to smile about, so that's,
So why not smile?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe it's contagious, that smile. I think so.
Oh, yeah.
What's something you would tell a mom who is maybe going through a hard time and maybe has a child with an ailment, or, you know, they're going through a difficulty? What would you tell a mom? You've been a mom, a young mom going through it. What would you say to them?
Well, yeah, I would say just believe there's all things possible with God. Anything is possible. I can even say it for myself.
Yeah.
You know, I've gone through very hard times.
Yeah.
With my health.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, here I am strong as can be.
Wearing high heels at 90 and
Yeah.
earrings. And just loving and just loving life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. You know, and then they ask me, well, what did you do today? Were you lonely? No, I said, I'm never lonely.
No.
No, I have TV. I have such good programs that I can watch. And at night, if I can't sleep, you know, there are nights
Yeah.
that you just have no sleep.
Yeah.
So then I put on the TV, and there's reflections.
Mm.
You know, that's always pictures,
Oh, yeah.
scenery, very beautiful,
Yeah.
and with Bible verses.
Nice.
So then I have kind of a Bible study at night.
That's good.
And that strengthens me to the day,
Yeah.
you know, and I have a sweet fellowship with my Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And in the morning, I usually play for at least an hour.
You play piano?
You know,
That's amazing.
and you know, all these old choir songs that I was
That you
in
play?
choir.
I
I can
love it.
play almost anything, like
And,
in the way I can. Then,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know notes,
but you can hear. You
I
play by ear. To hear.
well, you know, sometimes I can't hear very well because it sort of goes together.
Yeah,
Always,
yeah.
you know?
This sounds great. you play, you feel it though. You can feel it.
Well, I probably make mistakes when I can't hear.
Yeah. Oh, we all make those mistakes.
But that's right. I'm not stopping here. I'm getting up and go further.
Just keep playing.
You know? Yeah.
And you keep yourself busy. That's one thing I think really inspiring about you is that even though you're here and Grandpa's gone and you spend time making crafts, or you spend time playing piano, or you spend time, you know, feeling.
I enjoy everything I do. It's just fun.
Yeah, I love what you said today. I feel like I'm turning into a child to kind of went back into that way where you like this, you know.
Yeah, all the same thing, you know, and people are so good to me. God is so good to me.
You're just happy.
Yeah.
Even.
And I ask him for a long life. I want him a long life if I can be healthy.
Yeah, you are.
And I'm healthy, so he wants us to give us a long life.
Yeah.
As long as till we're satisfied.
Yeah, and you're having a great time still, so party's on.
Yeah.
You're still making people's day and smiling up a storm when you go down the hallway and racing people in wheelchairs.
Well, she's my neighbor lady.
And you just raced her. You're like, I'll run, you go in your wheelchair.
Well, you know what? She didn't even notice it.
Oh.
She was driving, and she didn't know I was coming behind her. But she's my neighbor here.
Yeah.
So she speed up, you know. So did I. I sped up.
So you kept running, and you surprised
So
yourself.
I kicked my heels and these people there, and like we had to go to a waiting room.
Okay.
That's a big waiting room. People sit there usually, and I was sitting somewhere.
Waiting for
They
dinner.
were laughing. I heard them laughing while I was kicking.
And you're just racing down the hallway at 90.
Yeah, I was here at the door just as soon as she was. I never knew I could run.
And
I haven't run for years.
And you just ran.
I ran. I don't know.
Who knows what you'll
Nothing
do?
hurt anything.
Wow. Who knows what you'll be doing next year? Maybe you're doing backflips or something.
I don't know.
Running this year?
Yeah.
Backflips next year? Who knows, Grandma?
Yeah. Well, then they say to me, well, maybe, you know, maybe I will go sooner than I think. So that's okay too. I'm ready to live. I'm ready to die.
You're happy. You're
I'm
fulfilled.
happy.
Yeah.
And the Lord is mine, and He is, and I'm His.
Mm-hmm.
And what more do I want?
Right. Wow. I love you. I'm grateful for all the conversations we get to have and the honest conversations. I love that when you share the stories. It makes me laugh sometimes, and sometimes I feel like I'm not so alone because you've been through stories.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's good that if it can help somebody yet, you know.
It does help someone. I think it helps many of us, you know. Even just like the joy that you have, even all the trials you've lost babies, and you lost a son, and the husband, you know, Grandpa's gone, and you know grief.
You just don't stay there.
Yeah.
You get up and you go.
You keep moving on.
Get moving on. Yeah.
Yeah. You keep finding joy in life, and that's such an inspiration.
It is, you know, I feel so young. Like, I feel like I could still herd the cows.
Do you?
I can run now.
You can run. Maybe you can herd cows. How old do you feel in your body?
I was 8 or 9, something like that.
You feel?
Huh?
Right now, you feel in your body's 8 or 9?
Yeah, I could do that.
What?
Why not?
Really? You feel that young?
Yeah, I feel young. I said to Melvin last time, you know what? I feel like I'm just starting all over again from young.
Wow. It's that amazing.
I talk with the Lord at night or in the day, anytime. He's my partner.
Yeah.
My other partner hangs on the wall.
He just hangs around with you all the time.
Yeah, and he's smiling.
Grandpa on the wall, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen the kids have pictures where he is sick in the hospital, and the way he talks to me there.
I have video of him talking to me too, yeah.
He says, what is him? I'm so optimistic.
Grandpa says?
Yeah.
About you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? He never said that to me before, ever.
Really?
He was a kind of quiet guy.
Yeah. That surprised you, hey, with that?
And then he says, he thanked me for praying. And no, sure, I was praying for my husband to get well.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. So, and then he said, I love you much. I love you much. And that was it. He went back to sleep.
That was the last thing he said to you?
No, he talked later yet to me when he was here in the hospital.
Yeah.
And Ed took me there on a wheelchair because the weather was bad and so was my leg. So then we had to go up that big
a ramp or something?
yeah. And people were coming and going there, and Ed was limping and he was pushing my wheelchair. And I said, Ed, I think these people don't know who should actually push the wheelchair.
Who should actually be in a wheelchair, you or me?
Yeah.
Grandma. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
No,
Thanks
you're
for
very welcome.
Yeah, I hold it very dear to my heart, and I treasure all these moments together.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I do too. If I think of my grandma and grandpa, I would go there so often.
Yeah.
I would go, and there was so much bush and wildflowers, so I would pick them.
Yeah.
And then I would bring them to grandma.
Oh.
And a bouquet of flowers.
You would from the bush?
Yeah.
Aww.
And then there was the river, and there were stones across, I would hop over there.
Yeah.
And run up the hill, and there they were.
Wow.
And living there, yeah.
Wow, so many stories, hey? In 90 years, you capture a lot of stories. That's a lot of life to live.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of life to live.
That should be long.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for hanging out and for telling me all the stories about your life. I'm going to share it with people so they can hear your story and they can be inspired by your joy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that I could help maybe somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, you never know who's sitting in a similar seat. Yeah.
And I got so many cards when Grandpa passed away.
Yeah.
But there was one very special one. And
what was it?
There was a lady that I know, and her husband passed away too, right before Dad did. And the boys, the men were cousins.
Okay.
So then she sent me a card, and it was just all about pitying. Pity myself, and how I would cry, and all these pity stories. And then I said, you know what, this is not me at all. Then I got another one from, this lady that played the organ when Ed sang in the quartet.
Oh yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Ruth.
Ruth.
Yeah.
She had written in her card about to me, and that was me.
That really touched you. That really resonated with your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, these pity stories, I don't like them.
I like them.
It's not me.
Oh, you're my favorite. Oh.
Well, you know, that's a hard life if you pity yourself.
Yeah.
That's a hard life.
That's hard. That's hard just to exist in that space.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
God has always an answer.
Yeah.
Every situation.
Yeah. Wow.
I
Thank you
wish
so
you the
much.
best.
I love you.
I love you too.
Ciao for now. That's that. That's a wrap.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe and leave a review wherever you get your podcast goodness. This way you'll never miss out on any future episodes, plus it really helps us. And if you want to share your favorite episode with a friend, that would be absolutely incredible. This goes a long way. If you'd like to join Naked by sharing part of your story, just leave us a message on Instagram or email us at nakedwithjanelle@gmail.com. Also, a big thanks to my son, Mikkel, who is the best cheerleader and maybe one of the biggest believers in Naked, and also produces and edits all our podcasts. I am beyond grateful for him and very aware that I couldn't do this on my own. Thank you so much for tuning in and for being here.